Chapter 7, Shadows of the Court. The night in London was damp and heavy. Fog from the Thames crept through the streets like a living thing, swallowing the guards' torches and muffling every sound. Nicholas stood at the window of a small room in the Black Lion Tavern on Fleet Street. Below, drunken voices roared, guards' swords clanged, and somewhere in the distance a dog howled. He hadn't slept for 3 nights now. The stigmata on his hands had opened again, not badly, but enough that blood dripped onto the floor whenever he clenched his fists. Avellini lay in the bed behind him, breathing evenly, but he knew she wasn't sleeping either. Thorn slept in the next room, small, with his mother's dark hair and eyes that too often stared into empty space. Nicholas gazed at the city. London had changed in 7 years. The walls stood taller, the guards meaner, the rumors louder. King Edward III was aging, but not weakening. They said he still remembered the face of everyone who had ever threatened his throne. And among those faces was a name he never spoke aloud, John Mortimer. The wolf's bastard. The door creaked. Nicholas spun instantly, hand already on the hilt of his knife. A man entered wearing a hooded cloak. Tall, thin, with graying temples. A knight in the service of Sir William Montague, the same one Nicholas had once drunk with in mercenary taverns. "You still wear gloves, beast hunter," the man said quietly. Nicholas didn't smile. "And you still spy for the king?" The knight lowered his hood. His face was tired, but his eyes were sharp. "He knows you're in the city. Knows your scars are bleeding again. Knows the demon has returned." Nicholas stepped closer. "And what does he want?" "For you to come to him. Tomorrow at dawn. In Westminster. Alone." Avellini sat up in bed. Her voice was quiet but firm. "He's not going alone." The knight looked at her. "The king doesn't like being given conditions." Nicholas placed a hand on his wife's shoulder. "I'll go. But if this is a trap, I will come back for you. Even if I have to cut my way through the entire court." Dawn was gray. Nicholas walked through empty streets toward Westminster. Beneath his cloak, an arbalest, at his belt, knives, his gloves soaked with fresh blood. In the throne room, Edward III waited. The king sat upon the throne, older than Nicholas remembered, but the gaze was the same, cold as steel. Beside him stood 2 guards and a bishop in black, the very one who had once served Fabius. "John Mortimer," the king said softly. Nicholas did not kneel. "Nicholas Blackthorn." Edward smiled, thin, without warmth. "A name doesn't change blood. And your blood is mine. Plantagenet blood. And it calls the demon you once banished." Nicholas remained silent. The king rose. "I know it has returned. I know it is hunting you. And I know it is hunting your son." Nicholas took a step forward. The guards tensed, but the king raised a hand. "I offer you a bargain. You destroy the demon permanently. In return, I grant you a title, lands, protection for your family. And I will forget that you are Mortimer's son." Nicholas met the king's eyes. "And if I refuse?" Edward's smile widened. "Then I will find another hunter. And he will begin with your son." At that moment the doors of the hall burst open. The bishop entered, the same one in black. In his hands he held a small silver cross, the very one that once belonged to the herbalist Maud. The cross smoked with black vapor. "He is already here," the bishop said. Nicholas felt the stigmata flare with pain. A voice in his head, familiar, many-voiced. "You came to him. But I came for you." The king turned to the bishop. "What does this mean?" The bishop smiled, slowly, madly. "It means the seal is broken, and that the blood of the Plantagenets now belongs to us." Nicholas drew his knife. The guards lunged at him. But he already understood the trap had not been set for him. It had been set for the king.